So, what do you guys think is going to happen? Is the market's going to suddenly just drop, or what are we going to see in the next couple of months?
Well, I think the market's going to drop from here into the end of the year. It's going up on extremely low volume with poor leadership right now, and it's a gift to the plunge protection team, which is a working group in financial markets. Everybody in Europe is gone. The hedge fund managers won't be back until September 15th. It's like a party for these people, and the 9,200, 9,300 Dow is not reflective of anything, because if you own a quality stock, it's not going anywhere. It's just the junk stocks are moving up, junk within the S&P 500 and better companies of the country. And so once the players come back and the dollar's sitting down, not at 77.5 like it is today or whatever it is, it'll be sitting lower, and people are going to be very reticent to buy dollar-denominated securities. And so I see the market down between now and the end of the year, maybe down to 6,600 again on the Dow, and the gold and silver are going to fly. And I think interest rates are going to start to edge back up again, with the 10-year note getting back up to 4% again. And there's going to be great consternation. Nothing's going to come of the stimulus package this year. The figures that came out on the GDP for the second quarter were an absolute insult to any professional. The first quarter supposedly was minus 6.4, and when they made a secret readjustment from minus 5.5. And then in the second quarter, they call for a minus 1%. You've got to be kidding me. It's statistically impossible. Now, these people are absolute morons.
Yeah, this whole Obama administration is liberal. Like, we have to do so much to change this whole thing around. I think Obama is worse than Bush, and he's almost like the healthcare thing is crazy.
Well, the only difference, let me tell you something. The only difference between Obama and George Bush is he had an R in his title there, that he was a Republican. But that's a rhino. Yeah. That's a Republican in name only. I don't. If you beat a Bush, does an Obama fall out? I don't see any difference between the two.
It's very Satora.
I could say something, but I'm not going to.
I could read your mind.
I'm glad you're not going to say it.
All right.
I wouldn't want to send you back to Borrowdale.
Paris, thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Yeah, Bob, we're working on borrowed time here. Is this the reason why we have not seen a collapse in the real estate market? Because of this mark-to-market deal, that they'd have to say, well, wait a minute. Hey, here's another 1,000 or another 2,000 or 3,000 banks that were now insolvent because we had to say that the real estate market isn't working anymore. What's going on with that?
Well, we get 67 banks went down that they tell you about. But there's hundreds and hundreds of them that have been absorbed by other banks. You just don't hear about it. And I've talked to bankers, and they tell me about it. And the government's lying about everything. But this mark-to-market is coming again, and it's going to stick. And it's going to throw everything into turmoil. Robbie, what's the deadline, September?
I'm not exactly sure, but you've also got to take into consideration unemployment benefits. I thought the number was around 600,000 that are going to, run out of benefits. But according to the New York Times, it's closer to 1.6 million. So if you've got 1.6 million people, we haven't even...
Well, they're going to be added to the unemployment rolls.
No, these
are U6.
These are people that are going to be thrown off the unemployment rolls. They've exhausted...
Yeah, but they'll be counted in U6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that's included. See, the big bugaboo is the birth-death ratio. And if you take that away from U6, which is a government figure of 16.5%, you get 20.5%. And John Williams who's the eminent one in that field, agrees with me. And so we're going to creep up to 22% by the end of the year, might be higher, and 25% next year because of the stimulus package. And I think toward the end of the year, there'll be legislation proposed again for another $2 trillion stimulus package for next year, election year. And that'll probably get passed in February or March, and they'll do the same thing over again. And that's what I expect to happen.
All right.
Well, it's like today. Today's report, no wonder Wall Street couldn't figure out which way was up. I mean, you had pending home sales, which means absolutely nothing, which the reading was an increase of 3.6%. They were expecting a 0.7. But then when you look at personal income, I mean, personal income went down 1.3%. So you've got rising pending home sales, declining personal income, and spending was marginal. So nothing made any sense today. And the ADP report that's going to come out tomorrow is going to be as bogus as it always is. And then everybody's going to focus on Friday's jobs report. And think about this. If the number comes in at under, 235,000, that will be good news.
Double plus good.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as we thought it would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's unbelievable.
The birth date reduction averages 185,000 a month. So if you have a short-term unemployment figure of an addition of let's say 500,000, the regal figure is 680,000 that lost their jobs. And this is why it's so important for people to understand how they devise those figures and what lies they are.
All right, we got to take this break. 800-313-9443. We're not here for ourselves, folks. We're here for you. Avail yourself of the opportunity. 800-313-9443. We are back. We gave away, I had Rob Gray on the program last week. By the way, folks, I've had my hand in the designing of a silver round, 1 ounce silver round. It's going to be the Andrew Jackson coin. What? What are you giving me a palms up for? What are you doing? What? My producer here is giving me the no neck or palms up stuff. What? What, you're sitting here... Yeah, like I can hear you through this window. Get on the microphone. Yes. If you're going to sit there and just disrupt me, I'm going to make you pay for it. All right, at any rate. The dear lady, somebody had copied her address down wrong. We gave away a 10-coin set, half-ounce each silver, and we had the wrong address. So luckily, the United States Postal Service returned it to us, and it is on its way out to you. So at any rate, speaking of which, Mr. Noel, and yes, please include your phone number in which they can call you to avail yourself of the Bob Chapman special.
Mm-hmm.
Well, British sovereigns, get them while you can. Don't have many of them, and this is only good as far as today is concerned. $276 is a quarter ounce. British sovereigns, 0.2354 of an ounce. Order 20 or more, comes to 5,520. You will receive a free subscription to the International Forecaster or an extension. And not included in the Chapman special, if silver is your thing, half bags of junk silver, 360 ounces of silver for $5,550 delivered. That works out at $15.41 an ounce. Or monster boxes of silver eagles, $8,555. That's 500 ounces. Works out at $17.11. And you can call Republic Trading Group 1-800-691-7898.
Now, What is the difference between 360 silver dollars for a half bag and the case that you mentioned?
No, it's 360 ounces.
360 ounces.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're
In
saying.
other words, it's $500 face value.
Gotcha.
In other words, it's made up, and you can't pick or choose. It's either quarters or dimes. Could be all quarters, could be all dimes, could be a mixture of the two, but it all comes out to $500 face value.